Underdog. What the fuck, yeah?
Okay, so let's sum it up. Villain and Zekka in the first round were really close to each other. I think in the second round, it was a little bit more obvious who won. What you see is what you get, darlings. Yo, what's up, my current FGB box? Welcome back to another analysis video with your boy Madox, aka
Man of Culture.
Today I'm going to analyze the semi-final between Villain and Zekka. Before I'm gonna watch the video, of course, I'm gonna check out the comment section first. Let me analyze that. Ooh, Villain himself said, this whole battle was not what you used to. Am I doing it right? Man of Culture. How much overtime you want? Villain? Yes. I don't know about the other judges' decisions, but Tom Thumb will definitely vote for Zekka. Wow, that sounds pretty biased, bro. I don't know if I should give you Man of Culture! Me, get 2 points in maths. My mother?
Are you ready to die?
Man of Culture! 518, me while I'm drunk.
I was ready to die before you came to me.
Man of Culture! When you don't study all year and still get an A, me to the whole class.
Feels good to be the underdog.
P.S. Hello Madox, have a nice day. Oh, thank you. You too, bro. And you know what? Man of Culture! When Shazam and Sin finally find a real only son comment.
This is not what you used to.
I think Shazam and Sin need to try harder. I didn't find anyone either. Man of Culture! Still recovering from 2H second round. Yo, this comment is underrated, yo. This comment is so underrated. Man of Culture. Man of Culture! Richtig behindert. 336, when your mom comes back to your house and you didn't do your homework.
What you wanna do? What you wanna do?
Man of Culture! 509, when I look on the clock after 10 hours of playing a game. Man of Culture! 457, when my bird gets out of the cage. Man of Culture! I would comment on my opinion on who won, but honestly, I just want to express how absolutely mind-blowing both of these guys are. Best battle so far. Yeah, I also don't want to share my opinion. Nice try, Madox, but you f***ing should do your job now. True. Madox, analyze now! Let me analyze that. Let's get into the video. So.
Welcome to the first semi-final of the SBX Kickback Battle 2021. Today, we have Villain versus Zekka. First up is Villain. With 90 seconds on the clock, I say the 3, and I say the 2 and the 1. In 3, 2, 1, beatbox.
Feels good to be the underdog. Underdog.
And that's time.
All right, That was Villain's first round. I would say that was a typical Villain style, a typical hip-hop flow, a lot of insane technical patterns, a really dark mood. Yeah. Let's get into the details! Villain started really simple with his vocalized bass at the beginning and then went straight into a lyrical part.
Feels good to be the underdog.
He was addressing that most people are rooting for Zekka, especially because Zekka's a little bit more popular than him, and especially because of his wildcard, his seeding round, and his first battle. A lot of people are a fan of Zekka now, me including. So with this lyrics, he tried to turn the tables. Let's see if he can pull it off.
To be the underdog.
So the first beat after the lyrical part was a really subtle beat, really dark moods, some nice technical transitions in between, and a really dope flow. Instead of using a straight beat, he's adding a lot of swing to his sounds. That's why this beat feels really bouncy. What I have to criticize in this beat though is that his PF snare is not really clean. It feels like the combos that he's using are way too hard to execute, and therefore he can't really focus on the PF snare in between. Also, I think he did this part a little bit too long without using too many exciting breaks. Another downside about this beat is that at the end he kind of loses energy. It feels like he gets exhausted and he gets unclean. Then he switched into a beat with a click and his inward bass, and this is a really sick one.
Underdog.
But I think he could work on the transition a little bit. It's a really random combo, and especially the vocalized parts here. Not really convincing for me. On the other hand, his inward drag parts, they are really clean and really dope. And then after that comes my favorite part. The bass here sounds so full. It almost sounds like there's a reverb on it. Because it's fading out in such a natural way. The impact at the beginning is really high and then it fades out, but the oscillation of his lips is staying on a certain frequency. So it really feels like there's a delay or a reverb on it. It's so dope. What I also like about this bass is his pitch control here. It's so dope. The technical parts he's doing in between, I'm not a big fan of it, but at least for me it feels like the complexity of this part is pretty high. So yeah, I'm not really sure how to rate that. But also here he's using this little break part that I'm not a really big fan of because it sounds so messy. And then for the outro he came back to the part that he used in the intro. Yeah. You can do that. So yeah, overall this round has a really dark mood, like a typically Villain round. The complexity of his beats is really high. Also the way he's delivering his beats is really authentic. I would wish that he would have a little bit more dynamics in this round, and at some parts he was a little bit unclean.
Let me analyze that.
Alright, let's move on to Zekka's first round.
Round 2, Zekka. Switch!
What a rebound though. Bass not the same. Ah, that's dope.
Now it's time for the overcut.
Overcut.
This is not what you used to.
Time.
Wow, bro. That was No, he was smashing it, man. Yo, I really love how much control he has over his beats. That's so good. Also the dynamics in his beats and the transitions. Wow. Let's get into the details. Zekka straight away started with a rebuttal on Villain's beat. And I think the first part is not a good rebuttal because the initial lip bass sound that he does here doesn't sound at all like Villain's. But the second part with the... I don't know how to do it. No clue. But this one comes really close to Villain's. So I would give him plus points for this rebuttal.
No, it's time for the overcut.
And then the lyrics for his transitions, man. That's so fun. Now it's time for the overcut.
No, it's time for the overcut.
Then he started with a simple beat, but this one was already so dope, like so bouncy, so much swing inside. All the sounds in between have a really nice texture. Just really interesting to listen to this because the arrangement is so dynamic. Then he was transitioning into his first drop and dude, he has so much control of his dynamics. When you listen to this transition, it creates so much suspense. It's this little synth going on all the time, and with the little details in between, it just sells the beat so well. And the punchline before the drop, it fits so well. Don't get lost. Dude, I had a really hard time to not get lost in this.
Don't get lost.
The rhythm and sounds are so complex, but it still makes so much sense, so that's so mind-blowing. I especially like this little break where he used the... Such a good break, man. And he keeps going on with this insanity of crazy technical beats. The level of complexity and execution here is so high. He switches between so many different rhythms so flawlessly. Every sound is so clean. It's so dope. And at the end of the round, he took Villain's punchline. This is not what you used to for his own beat, and
this is not what you used to.
It's so dope. He started with the post snare, which is a really popular sound right now. Which I still can't do. But I'm gonna keep practicing, guys. I promise you. One day I can do it. Anyways. His beat here is... There's not a lot I can say about this because the complexity is so hard. At some points, I don't even understand what he's doing there. But all I really can say about these beats is that the execution is really high. The textures of his sounds are really beautiful. The sound choices are really well done. And the execution level, man, it's so clean. It's just outstanding. So overall, Zekka and Villain in the first round had a really similar mood, really dark. Both showed beats with a really high complexity. I think Zekka's complexity was a little bit higher because he was switching in between rhythms and patterns a little bit more than Villain. Villain and Zekka both were really clean, but I think Zekka was a little bit cleaner. He didn't really have any noticeable mistakes. Whereas Villain had a few, just a few, but it's enough to give Zekka a higher rank in execution. And for me, the most obvious difference between Zekka and Villain was the dynamics in the beats. Zekka was way more dynamic, he was playing around with stuff that Villain did before. He was switching in between moods, he had this little transition part that makes you really curious, where he created a lot of suspense. So I would give the first round to Zekka.
Let me analyze that.
Let's go on with Villain's second round.
Round 3, Villain. Switch!
It's funny how you wasted time trying to do my beat and not yours. What you wanna do? What you wanna do? How you wanna move? How you wanna move? What you wanna do? What you wanna do? How you wanna move? How you wanna move? What you wanna do? How you wanna move? Yeah. the fuck, yeah. Final boss. Finish him, finish him.
Time.
Wow, that was really hard to watch, man. Yeah, so Villain's second round was really energetic, but also really messy. Let's not waste any time and go straight into the details. Villain straight started with a rebuttal on Zekka, saying that Zekka is wasting time using his beats.
It's funny how you wasted time trying to do my beat and not yours.
And I think that's a pretty cheap rebuttal, and it's a really easy way to do this rebuttal, especially in a video battle where you don't need to be spontaneous. So I wouldn't give him any plus points for this rebuttal. Then he went into this really technical beat.
What you wanna do? How you wanna move?
And the complexity of this beat is really high, but sadly, I think he's really unclean with this one. The click roll zipper in between he doesn't have a really nice texture. It sounds really muddy. His PF snare, I don't know why, but it sounds so muddy. It's missing this high end. I don't know what it is, but he definitely needs to work on his PF snare if he wants to keep using it so often. Overall, I think the tempo that he was choosing was way too fast.
Yeah.
Reducing it by 5 or 10 BPM, I think it would improve the groove of it. With the slower tempo, he would have an easier time to execute it better. I really love this combo that he does with the and with the click roll in between. That's a really dope combo. But again, it's way too fast. It feels way too rushed. It feels like he's loaded with a lot of energy and he don't know how to control it. Also, he's missing a lot of structure here. It's just super energetic all the time, all the time. I'm missing a part where he takes his time to reduce the energy a little bit more, to give the audience a little bit of time to process what he did here. And then come back. Yeah, that was nothing like that. What I have to highlight is this little transition that he did towards the end of his round with the flappy cheek.
What the fuck?
It was a really fun and unexpected moment. But also this moment was suffering because everything else was so rushed. I couldn't properly enjoy this moment. What I also really liked was this finish him. Finish it.
Finish him, finish him.
Kind of sound like a Uzi or something, a rifle gun, I don't know.
Finish him, finish him.
Yeah, so overall this round really felt way too rushed. He had a lot of energy here and that's sick. He had a nice delivery in his expression here, but the structure was all over the place. He didn't execute it really well. His beats sounded really muddy and he kept the energy high for way too long. I was missing more dynamic here through the whole round. So yeah, I think in his first round he definitely did better.
Let me analyze that.
Let's move on to Zekka's second round.
Switch.
I was ready to die before you came to me, and I was willing to find lust instead of peace. For leave my body, my eye, nothing exists to me. And I just can't wait to fly far away from here.
Swing it, baby. Wow.
Now you're ready to die. Yeah.
Wow, killed it. Yeah, so also Zekka was speeding up his beats here, but he stayed clean all the time. That was so dope, man. The rhythms are... Damn, let's get into the details. Damn, so he started with this lyrical part in the beginning and he was selling it so well, man.
I was ready to die before you came to me, and I was willing to find love instead of peace.
He was performing it really well. The mood here, man. It was really dope, really emotional part. Some people would say leaning against the wall in between was a little bit too theatrical.
To me.
But for me, he was selling it really nice here. Then he was transitioning into his first beat, and I think he could do it in a more elegant way.
Just can't wait to fly far away from here.
The structure of this transition was really unclear, so I had a really hard time to get into the drop. But then the drop itself, it's such a sick drum and bass beat. It has so much swing, the grooves in between. It's so dope. It doesn't use a lot of complex sounds, but the combos are really complex. The rhythm is really complex, and the execution is on such a high level. It's so clean, man, and he's hitting the groove really well. Ha! Damn, bro. That's what I'm talking about. Then he started with his transition part, and it was a more linear beat. And I think this was a really good choice to do a more linear beat here, where I don't have to be so much focused on the groove. You can kind of relax and enjoy the energy that's coming in here. And then at the end, he came into this last beat with this, I heard it's not a click roll sound, but I don't know how else to call it. Let's keep calling it click roll. Come on, guys, please. If there's already a name for it, please tell me in the comment section, but I never heard of any name for it.
Now you're ready to die.
Yeah, the groove of it is so dope, man. The sound design is really sick. I really love the pitch control that he has over his click roll. My gosh, bro. It's a more simpler groove than in the beginning, but it has so much more energy. So, the delivery here is really well done. Also, the way he was ending his round, fading out the inward snare here. Little details, but I think especially beginning and end are super crucial, because that's the things people mostly will remember. Okay, so let's sum it up. Villain and Zekka in the first round were really close to each other. I think in the second round, it was a little bit more obvious who won. Villain had a really nice energy here going on, but it was too overwhelming. He was speeding too much, he got really unclean, and I would wish he would use a little bit more dynamics, because it was high energy all the time. Really hard to process. Zekka, on the other hand, had a really dope structure. His grooves are really on fleek. His execution level is really high. He had this little rhythmical problem at the beginning in the transition to his first drop, but the rest was super flawless, super clean. Really well done. So because of all these points I was mentioning, I think Zekka most definitely deserves to win this battle.
Now it's time for the overcut.
But again, I'm not an official judge, so this stays my own opinion. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Quick and easy. If you enjoy my content, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you soon.